Hey, my name is Ryan with Oak Harbor Web Designs, and today we're working on a music teaching nonprofit based in Philadelphia. So, this is like a more traditional kind of space. It's like a nonprofit, it's music. We don't need to go overly modern. We can stay a little more traditional, but still have some flair. So, yeah, we're not going to go for that ultra modern, ultra, chic look. So we're trying to stay within the brand of the client and not within like the trends of nowadays. Like not everything needs to follow a trend. Sometimes you need to make something that fits the brand and not the current design fad. So um, something a little more traditional. We got our standard. We got our about section with their history. We have an events section. So when you hover over it, a little box shadow pops up and it jumps up a little bit, so it moves up and down. So like when you hover over it, it goes up, and then when you let go, it goes down and it loses its shadow. Just a neat little hover effect, keeping this area simple. Then we got our gallery. We're going to do a little grid here. Um, and the way, when I'm looking at this, immediately people go to um, grid, which is, that's fine. But it's such a pain in the ass to work with for me. I don't like it. So it's great for certain aspects, but I think with this, what I'm going to do is I'm going to break this up into two different flex containers. So this will be a left and this will be a right. And then I'm just going to flex this. And that's it. I don't have to set up a grid. I don't have to tell each grid item how many rows and columns to be. I'm just gonna make two flex boxes, and that's gonna be the least amount of time I have to spend on that. Then we got our traditional section here, our content left, image right, and then we got our board members, and then we got our contact here. So this is part of the design for my designer. I think what I'm gonna do. Um, like I'm gonna build this, but I'm just gonna put it on the contact page and make this the contact page because you want interactivity on your website. So you don't necessarily want to put your contact forms on your homepage. You want people to move throughout your website so that shows Google that people are interacting with it, they're finding what they want. Because if somebody lands on your website and doesn't go anywhere, Google considers that a bounce, and the higher your bounce rate, the lower you will rank for the keywords that they came to your website for. So if they come to your website for your keywords, but there's nowhere for them to go, maybe it's got good information, maybe it's a good website, but if they got nowhere to go and they just leave, then Google's going to consider that a bounce, and you're just doing yourself a disservice. So at least have an about page and a contact page. So I'm just gonna make this a call to action to go to the contact page, and this will be the contact page. And we got other pages here too, so we have to do our about page. We have the board again, and then we have their titles and stuff, and then we're going to do this little membership section that explains their membership. Again, nothing flashy. We're just trying to put the information out there in an easy to digest manner. Oh, excuse me. And this is the events page. So I like this. It stays within brand. It's very simple, easy to look at. And then when you click on the event, it'll pop up with a modal of the event. So we're going to make our event modals as well. And then our contact page is just going to be that section down here. So yeah, we're just going to make this our contact page right here. But overall, pretty easy design. Should be able to burn through this relatively quickly, hopefully. So let's get started. So what I ended up doing, so this nav bar, normally I start with my starter kit. But with this one, I'm borrowing from a previous project I worked on. So this is the call to action I'm telling you about. So I already have, because I think they need a drop down too for some of these, and I already have a site I built that has drop downs, right? So it's got these. So I'm going to utilize these. I like these drop downs. I don't have to build them again. Um, so that's the only caveat is I'm starting with this. So, while this is an instructional YouTube series on how to build things from scratch, I'm also working, and this is how I work. So I don't try to repeat myself. And I have a very packed schedule this month, so I am going to be reusing some assets, which is what you should be doing. Once you build all these things, why can't you reuse them? They're already done. So I started off with this. I stripped everything out, and I'm just literally starting with this. My landing page and my call to action and my credit at the bottom. So we're going to start with the header here. Right here is where we're at. So let's inspect, and let's do our 320. So this is going to be our smallest screen. So let's get our logo in here. I sent the logo off to my guy, my SEO guy, who will be turning it into an SVG. So let's see, Phmta images. Okay, so these are all my images that I grabbed. We're going to take the logo here, and we're just going to put it in the nav bar menu. So not much has changed in the nav bar. It's pretty much the same nav bar. We're just going to do logo PNG. That's in the big one. Okay, mobile. Here we go. Mobile. And PNG. There it is. So yeah, the way I have my this set up is it just basically fills it in. So yeah, it's a good size. Now we need to get the background. So the landing section is going to be this girl here. So let's take our images. Where's our landing at? I know I grabbed it. Apparently I didn't. Okay, let's grab it. Export as a JPEG. We're going to save as, and this is going to be landing. And what I do is I make a mobile crop of it. So, because on mobile, you're not going to see almost all of this, right? So I'm going to make a little crop here. I think that's where I want it. So if you think about a mobile screen, this is about what a mobile screen looks like. Why do we have all this extra information? There's no reason for it. It's just going to be a bigger file to load that we don't have to. So I make a mobile crop of my landing images. I save. And that is going to be landing-m. Boom. And I do that with all of my images. Eventually, they will all have their own mobile versions. So I need to go down here. Let's just get this set up really quick. So this is going to be landing-m.jpg for now until I change them to WebPs. Okay, so there's our, see that cut that I made? It fits perfectly, so I can decide how it looks. Now, so at least we got this set up. So what I'm going to explain what's happening here. This is the picture element, and it's great for semantic HTML, which is where semantic meaning like it has like a word meaning. So this is a picture element. It literally says picture. Like it tells the browser this is a picture, nothing else. And inside of here is where you can have like these different source attributes. So max width, so up to 600 pixels. I want you to load the mobile image, right? After 601, which is the next step, load the desktop image. And these are going to be WebPs. And what this says, this image, this is the image tag that everything will live on. So this is where I put my loading lazy. Well, I don't need that because this is a above the fold image. My decoding, this is my fallback. So if these are WebPs and you're on a browser, Safari, that doesn't support WebPs, then it will load this image instead. So this is the fallback if these fail. And then you put your height and widths, right? But this is the picture element. So it's very useful to serve up mobile images on mobile, which is significantly smaller, and serve up your desktop images on desktop so that your mobile page speeds can increase significantly. Also, you can just have an image by itself inside the picture tag. And this basically serves, it's like a div, but you have to put display block and position relative on it to do things to it. But it behaves like a div block. So if you need to add pseudo elements to your image, you cannot add pseudo elements to image tags. They don't work. But you can do it to a picture element. So if you put your image inside of a picture element, that's when you can start doing some fun things. And what I like to do now in my work, like pictures like this that need to let's see. When we look at these, right? All three of these images will be in a picture tag. Why? Because at the same time I'm serving a mobile size version, but also I am going to be setting the picture element to be the height and width that it needs to be, okay? And then I'm going to set the image inside of it to be position absolute, width, height 100%, and object fit cover. That object fit cover makes it behave like a background image. It will stretch until it fills its container proportionally. So it will, whatever its container size is, object fit cover will make it, it'll zoom all the way out until every inch of the container is filled. And what this does is it makes swapping out images easier. So if I have to change any images later on, they don't have to be the exact height and width for this to maintain its design. I can literally just set it to the same width, and maybe it doesn't have the same height, but I just set it to the width. Like if I have a new image that's, I don't know, 1200 by 5000 wide or whatever, I just set the width to be, double this for a higher resolution. So that'll be 1200, and then it'll just scale to fit this. I don't have to recrop the height at all. So that's what's nice about that, is I can do that. It doesn't have to be exact, so I can just drop in some images really quick and be on with it. So you'll still see how that works. But so we got this. Excuse me, recovering from a little sickness here. That's our menu. So let's grow, because I know we got to let's see, I think 1024 is when it comes in, and we got to refresh. Okay, so on 1024 we got a couple problems here. Let's see. So we're gonna get into some of the CSS here, and what I do is I use less, and there's a getting started video in this playlist for you to watch to show you how to set up less and how it works. It's a CSS preprocessor, so I can do nesting like this. So hero, this picture element is inside the hero tag, right? So it's a way to nest your CSS and make it easier to read and follow. I'm just gonna grab all this. In fact, I don't need all of this. All of this is like from the previous website. So we're just going to delete all that. And we're keeping the landing. But nothing's going to happen because I have to go into my Koala. I have to open up the project. Okay. And here's all my less files. So I want to watch root, which is where my navigation styles are. So here's root, auto prefix, compile. What this does is everything I write in less will be converted into a CSS file. So here's my root less. Everything I write in here, like with the nesting and everything, it's just going to compile it into its own CSS file. So makes things nice and easy. So not here, not here, not here. Okay, here it is. This is our desktop at 1024. So this image needs to get smaller. So it's going to be navbar logo. So width is, let's just change the width. Let's say 2. Oh, whoops, I broke it. 2. And I think that's fine. Now let's see. It's not. Let's move it up a little bit. It doesn't appear to be center. And That appears to be center. And then our U. Now I gotta change you. So you're gonna be in my dark.css. So let's go to dark. Let's compile it because I'm gonna start working in it now. And you're gonna be top dark mode. So let's just write top dark mode button. There we go. So top. Let's bring it down a little bit. 38. Oh, whoops. We're in min width 0. We need to go higher. There you go. 1024. Let's do 48. Let's say that's 200. 78. We need to go down. Let's try 80. 83. 82. Okay, that looks about even. So when we scroll down, that should happen. So now we gotta adjust the body scroll. So I have a JavaScript thing. It is scroll.js where when you scroll more than 100 pixels, it adds a class to the body of scroll, and then everything inside of that. So let's just go to it. I'll show you. Scroll. This is how it works. So unless, because I can nest, it makes things easier. So when the scroll class is on the body, I select all of these properties on the body, and I give them different values. So when the body has scroll on it, these values would be loaded instead. And that's how we create that. So when we're up here, we got on scroll, we got this. So this dot scroll, that is a div, right at the top, right here. So I created a div, and right now its height is 0, and its background is black. But when scroll is on the body, its height will be 80, and that's what that is. Scroll up, where are you at? And unscroll right here. See? So height is 4m, which is 80. And that's what's happening there. So now we're gonna have to change the height and width of the logo. So here's the navbar menu, and here's the logo. So width is still 200. We got to reduce that. And there it is. It should fit. But we need a dark mode version of the logo, and that's not going to come until I get my logo from my designer. So you'll see now that when I scroll back up, see how they move. That's how we do that. We just tell all the different properties to do different things. Like we tell the navbar menu to change your height to 100. That's what makes it shrink, right? And everything just kind of moves up. And this top dark mode button, we got to give you a little more juice. So let's try 43. 48. Where are you getting yours? I'm gonna scroll that top dark mode button. Right. Doesn't appear to have any effect. Let's just try 55 then. Let's see if that works. It's still up there. Why? Is there another one? Oh, I have 2 of them? No, that's body down scroll. Dark mode. Body down scroll. So why is this not working? Oh, because it's on dark CSS. Well, so much for this. Let's find scroll. There it is. Top 230. Push it down there. It goes. Now it's moving. See why it's important to check the inspector and where the source CSS is? Let's go down a little more. Let's say 4. Let's do 3. Right. Okay, that looks good. So now it moves where it needs to move. Okay, so we got that figured out. Now let's get our nav items done. Let's drop this down. Okay, so we have our home. So our about, I think our about is going to have 2 of them. So we got our about, and then we have our meet board. It's going to be a separate page. I'm just going to check their website really quick to see what they have that I need to add. We got about membership. That's already on the page. Do I only need 1 drop down? Yeah, looks like I only need 1. Okay, so looks like we got pictures of the board. Okay, yeah, that's all taken care of. Sorry, I'm just, for privacy, I don't want their website up here, like blasting it, so. Okay, we got all that. That's taken care of, basically. Okay, so yeah, we don't need these. And because this is a drop down, we need another one. So we're going to do about us, and that's going to go to about. It's going to go to meet the board. I haven't made that page yet. Okay, and I don't think we need another drop down. So we're going to remove this drop down. Add 2. And we're going to do events. So that's going to be events. And then we got certifications, teacher only. So copy this. Certifications, certifications.html. And then we got teachers only. And then we got our content. Okay. And that's all we need. So we got everything there. We got our drop down, our about us, meet the board. Cool, cool. Now let's. How big are you? So this is 71. While the other one's 80. I'm just gonna keep 80 because that's I like it being a little taller. But the background is white instead of black. So body.scroll. So you see our scroll here. This is our default scroll. I'm just gonna change it to white. So by default, it's fixed, right? Its height is 0, which is where it starts, and then it ends at 80, like when the body has scroll on it. Top and left 0. It's on top of everybody. Pointer events none. This means that your mouse will never be able to hover over it. It won't pick it up, and it won't cover things. So if it was covering a link and you can't click the link because it's on top of it, pointer events none will basically make it invisible, and you can click that link. So and then transition, we're transitioning our height. So when it transitions from 0 to 80, that's how you see that animation. Now, when we change the background to white, it becomes white. And the logo looks fine there. But now we got to change these. So what's the path? So I'm going to click on the A. So it's side nav A. Okay, well, we got side nav, so we're going to do dot side nav. And this is how less works. So dot side nav. Instead of doing A like this, I can do it like this. I can put it inside, and that just makes things easier. So we're going to do color. Now, what is the color? 48. And there we go. Now they're changed. And I think this, we also have to do a nav header. So we're going to do a comma.nav header. That's for the drop downs because they're links. They're list items. They're not A tags. So I have them targeted with the nav header right here because this is not a link. I don't want them clicking on this. I want them. This is the link they click on. So that's taken care of. And we hover over that. Okay, so now we got these guys. So we're going to click on the li. This is the hover, the element state. So I want it to hover so that I can get access to this. And then I'm going to hover over this, right? And this is the path I need to follow. So I need to go UL. So inside side nav, it's side nav, and then it's UL, drop LIA, and that color is going to be white. And let's see if that worked. There we go. Yeah, because I had to reset it. So I said all A's. Basically, it's a specificity issue. So what the problem was, because when the scroll is not on the body, it's still white because it's white by default, right? But what ended up happening is this is overriding it. So side nav A on when the body has scroll on it, when we move, it changes to that black, which is why you saw that these were that same black because it was taking its style from here. So I just had to redeclare it and override this CSS. That's why that is changing right now. And then we need our hover state. Well, let's get these. So you're going to be 14 now. So let's go to our side nav. UL drop. So this is all the CSS for our drop down. LI. Side nav UL LI. Trying to find my A tag. Okay, so if I make, well, where's your font? Okay, where are you getting your font size? I'm just trying to find it. So if you look in the inspector, font size, okay, it's getting it from here, so it's a little smaller. So 1M is 20 pixels. But these are actually going to be 14, so I think we can get away with the font size 14 divided by 20. 20 is the base font size on the body on desktop. So to get our M value, we divide the font size by the parent font size, which is the body. So and that gives us our M value. So now these are going to be 14, and you see they're not centered right now. I've got to do something about that. We have a padding top on them, which is interesting. Let's remove the padding and see what that looks like. That pushes them up there. Maybe that padding top is what I want. Let's add it. Let's increase it until it looks about centered. Which that kind of looks about centered. And then these are also pulling their font size from whatever their parent is. So I think I want to get in here and change these. So I don't like how small they are. I go into LI, hover. Okay, there you are. You're getting your font size from side nav A. Okay, see, they're pulling their font size from side nav A, which is right here. But I want them to have a different font size. Because now the new font size is 14, so they're 14 now as well. I want them to be bigger. Let's see if we make this bigger, right? If we go here, when we hover, I don't no like that. Also, you see this? Run out of space. So here's so when I hover, what's happening is you see the bottom of the blue. See the blue box? The bottom of that is not touching the top of this. There's a gap. So it's only when you hover over this that this shows up. So when you hover over it and you go over this gap here, that is, you're not hovering over it anymore, so it disappears. So we need to remedy that. So we need to put a padding bottom on that to push it down. So because I need to add more space to it. Padding pushes from the inside. So if I add padding to it, it'll make, you see this padding? That means if you hover over it like this is still part of the height of the link. So if you hover over this, it's part of the link and that stays. So let's add some padding on the bottom. On the there you go. On the nav header. Well, if we add it to the nav header, we got to add it to everybody. So let's do 20 divided by 14. That's the new font size. If we do that, you see we got our extra space there. That also means it's pushing it up. So let's see, when I hover over this, so there's the padding and there's this. So this padding, they should be overlapping, so it should be working now. See, now it's working. But you see the padding is on here. So now I gotta go in and I gotta change the padding on these internal links because they're also getting that padding bottom. So I gotta change these. And it's just that once you start getting more complicated navigations, that's where you start running into these problems. So I'm just gonna fix these really quick, and then we'll get onto the meat of this. You could skip this if you don't want to see me fiddle in a nav. And then dot. I want to target these guys. See, it's got that padding bottom we don't want. So if I target it by drop 1, I can do, okay, side nav, UL, drop 3. So let's try that. So we got our side nav. Let's just collapse these so it's easier to see what's going on inside this. Obviously, we got side nav, UL. This is our LI. Let's do drop 3. Yeah, did it. Excuse me. Drop 3. And that's going to be A. Bottom 0. Let's see if that worked. That worked. Okay, so now let's reset the font size. to 18 divided by 14m, because it's pulling its font size from this A. So when we change that, now they get bigger. 18 is a little big. Let's do 16. And I don't like their spacing, because they're, oh yeah, that's right, because I also changed the padding top. So our padding top is also going to be, what was that, 20? Okay, that's better. I can accept that, so I dig. Now what's wrong with you? Why aren't you? Oh, and one of the problems is because this is white and this background is white now. So when we go up, I have to change it to black. All right. So first, let's get this centered. Let's get this appropriate. So let's just target the instead of targeting the links and pushing them. I think these are fine. See this is the height. You see the padding. This is the height of like these boxes. That's the height of your A tags. So that padding is creating that height. So let's just take the on top. So this UL side nav, we don't want to target the UL because there's also another UL inside of it for the dropdown. So we're just going to target by the ID of on top. And we're going to do margin top of like what, 20? Yeah, that looks good. Okay, so I want that to be on scroll. So on scroll, I want here's my side nav. So I can just plop this in here, side nav on top, margin top 22. All right, so these can stay where they are. And now when I scroll, it'll be right where I want it. Now I gotta adjust this. So here's my dark mode button. We have a sun and a moon. So when I click on this, it changes, but what the hell? Why is it not changing now? Did I delete something I'm not supposed to? What's the console say? On click, it's not reading the on click. Why? When I deleted one of the drop downs, the JavaScript targeting that drop down that added the class so that the drop down appeared. Now it has a it's not, the property doesn't exist anymore, and that's one of the tomfooleries of JavaScript is if one thing doesn't work, it basically takes the whole thing down with it. In CSS, if one thing doesn't work, it just skips it and says, all right, this is stupid, let's move on. But JavaScript is even dumber. It says, whoa, this isn't working. Shut it all down. Shut it all down. We got to figure out this one stupid small thing before we can do what we're supposed to do. And that's some bullshit. So we go to our JavaScript right here. And this is the one we're looking at. We're looking at drop one. So drop one, if we remove this and remove that because we're not targeting that anymore. So what this is saying is like on the drop three, which is this li. On this li, when I click on it, I'm running a function to add a class, or I'm toggling it to this. So this is referencing this. It's whatever your argument is. So drop three, documents.queryceptor. So we're grabbing it by an ID, drop three. And we're going to toggle the class of clicked. So when the ID, when this thing has an ID of clicked on it, that's when the UL has its CSS properties that make it visible. And we just transition between its non-visible and visible properties, and that's what makes everything appear. So that's what that's doing. So now that we fixed that, dark mode works. See, now JavaScript is happy. Doesn't have that speed bump because it's fucking stupid, and it's like, whoa, I can't go over the speed bump. I gotta wait for the city to remove it before I can keep going because I'm an idiot, and because I can't roll over a speed bump. So so that's fixed. So now what I gotta do? I gotta make a decision here. I don't want to do this. So there's two options. One of them is I add another image tag in here that has a moon black, where it's moon, and it has a hidden. Its default status is the display none, and then this default status is display block. On scroll, we make the white one display none, and we make the black one display block, so they swap. Or I get a little more efficient, and I just load in the SVG directly. I'm just going to load in the SVG directly and see if I can get away with it. So we're going to go to, this is the service I use for all of my SVGs. So we're going to do a moon. And yeah, I'm just going to go classic. I'm going to grab you, and we're going to download. There's my moon SVG. Oh no, I did a PNG. I gotta open you up. There we go. So I gotta do SVG. There we go. Now it opens up in a browser. That's how I know it's SVG. We're gonna save as, and we're gonna do moon. Oh wait. No. I'm not saving. I'm doing it differently because I'm inlining it. So I gotta inspect the element, and I have to grab the code. So we're gonna copy element. All right, close you off. So I'm gonna put this here. I'm going to close this. So I'm going to give this, I'm going to put the class on it. Okay, moon. I think that's all I can do. So let's get rid of this image. And where moon. Okay, so on dark, wherever we have image, I got to add SVG, so it also targets the SVG. So we got to go to our dark, top dark mode button image. So we got to go over to our dark, top dark mode. Okay, so let's just see. We got our moon, sun, moon, sun. Let's just go through them and see if any of them have an image tag attached to it. Before and afters, button. Okay, looks like that's it. I mean, there's an image here, dark mode button image. Why don't I see that in here? Is it okay? No? It says there's an image. It's Oh well. Let's just, okay, so I replaced it. Let's just see what happens. And it's gone. Cool. So let that be a lesson to you. Don't target things by the element type. Add a class to it and target it by that, because if you have to change the element type, you're going to be in trouble. So where are you? So if we're going to our dark mode button right here, here's our SVG. So it looks like it's there, but it's not getting its, oh, there it is, little tiny little speck. It's not getting its height and width. So Height and width should be 24 by 24. So let's just screw it. Let's just add it. Since apparently I can't find it. So SVG height 24 divided by 20m, width 24 divided by 20m, fill height. There we go. You see the power of that. I'm gonna change the fill on hover. Let's see, do I got to display block it? Why aren't you doing what I want you to do? Who do you think you are? See, even on mobile, it's like really freaking small. Okay, maybe it doesn't like the M. So what if I do width 100% height auto? That doesn't work. Let's do width 24 pixels, height. Let's just set it hard. No abs. And that doesn't do a damn thing. Top, dark mode button, SVG. I saved it. It's in there, but it doesn't want to get any bigger. Why? Okay, let's see. If I hit it, does it? Okay, so it at least animates. But the height and width is all messed up. So, I mean, if I just make this 50, 55, whatever, does that do anything? It's like it's not even taking the height and width value. Is it inside of here? Is that why? Is this it? Is it because of the view box? What is the view box? Let's get rid of this. I don't think we need this. And let's get rid of the view box. Let's see if that does anything. Yeah, that does something all right. Okay, so we clearly don't need this. This view box. Maybe because these are 0, I don't know. Okay, that doesn't do anything. Let's just make these all 0. I've never had this problem before, so I'm trying to figure it out as well. I really don't know what the hell's going on, why my SVG is not behaving or listening to me. It's being a very bad SVG. So, all right, I see that like that box. You see that like that purple box that's telling me something. Yeah, it's definitely telling me something. All right, okay. All right. And you know, I think we can get away with it. We don't need this. I actually don't need this. Before top dark mode button before. Where's that at? I think it's in the beginning. There's top. Yeah, there's the before. Oh, is this it? Get rid of this. Yeah, we don't need that. And then we don't need this. Okay. That looks fine. So I think because this is flexing, so inside this box is a flex box. And because there's another image inside of it, but I think it's display none. I think something was pushing it. That's why we saw that purple box. That's a flex thing. That's telling me that flex is pushing it to be that small. So when you have that problem, if you set a min width, that it cannot get smaller than this. No matter what flex is doing, if it's pushing against it, it will not be smaller. Because flex is about growing big and small. It's flexible. So if you set a minimum width for an element to be, flex cannot push it to be smaller. I see that happening a lot sometimes. And you saw that happen here, why it was squished, like the height and width wasn't working because it's a flex container and something inside the flex box is pushing against it to make it small. So I push back and I tell it like, well, no, you can't shrink my stuff because my stuff will at minimum be 24 pixels divided by 20, which is whatever m value that is. And that fixed that. So now that works. All right, those beans are cool. And so now we gotta adjust that on 1024. God, this damn nav bar is killing me right now. Top dark no button, dark CSS. All right, let's go to your 1024. See min width 1024. Top dark mode button. Body dot. Okay, so not on scroll. So not when it's not on scroll, I want you to be up higher. There, I use some space. That's cool. And then on scroll, when we go up, so that's where the magic happens. So body.scroll, top dark mode button. So we get our top, and then we get our SVG, and we're gonna change the fill to black. And there it is. So now we don't have to do any separate images or anything. We can just change the fill color for our SVGs, and I love that. So let's push this down a little more. And I wonder if this is too big, honestly. So let's do min width of like 20. 17. Is that going to get any smaller? Where are you getting your information? Oh, that's right, I'm doing it on the button. Because I'm dumb. I need to do it on the SVG. How wide is the button? I think it's like yeah, a little smaller, a little better. Not as in your face. Okay, so I think that's it. I think we got our nav bar. Nope. So it looks like we got some more to deal with here. So 1024, 1200 is at 1200 pixels. There's that. Okay, let's change SVG to that. All right, where does this happen? So we're here, we're fine. Everything's, okay, so at 1200, that's our problem. Why is it at 1200 that you are my problem? Okay, so it's inheriting the font. So okay. So when we inherit the font size from the body, when it changes, that messes it all up. So at 1200, let's change it. Okay, that's cool. And let's make sure you're good. So now we gotta change that at 1200. So at 1200, we got scroll, top dark mode button. Top value is gonna be 5 instead. Or even worse, we're gonna say 35. Cool, 185. 28. 9. That looks about right. Okay, so that's fixed. That's still freaking gigantic. Why? I can't, you know what? I just screw this. I think after this build, I'm just gonna make a new navigation. I built this navigation like at the beginning of my career, and I've just been really lazy and just Frankensteining it to do everything I need. So yeah, after this, I'm just gonna do a damn video. I'm gonna record. I'm gonna make a whole navigation that is much more intuitive than this. So just deal with me for now. This is stupid. Okay, so 1500. Are we changing anything? Yeah, we're changing things all right. Let's get rid of this. Okay, that's cool. All right, now everything is as it should be. So get our navigation. Now we got to spread this out, right? Like we got the space over here. Which is a lot. 90. All right, so if we space these suckers out, so we're gonna do our root, and we're gonna do side nav, or no, it's gonna be a nav bar. The nav bar menu, or side nav, li. Let's see, what's our spacing on these guys? So how are they spaced? Our LIs, there we go. Side nav, UL, LI, that's our margin. Okay, so let's look for that. That's going to be on root on 1024. Nav bar. Where's my side nav? Side nav, LI. And this is it. There it is. There's our margin right. Let's just double this up to 60. And I think that's good enough. And let's do our active class. So when we have an active menu, that's going to be, should be on home. Where's my home? There's home. Okay, active menu. And it's going to be this. So yeah, I had a flute SVG. We're not going to do that. We're just going to do a background. The primary red color. Okay, so there's that. Now we just gotta, yeah, this is all screwy. All right, I'll remove this. Unrecognized input. Awesome. Where? Okay, well, it looks like it's fine now. Okay, we're going to remove this. That's the active state. So I'm going to start down here. Okay, so this is the normal after. So we're going to make you. See, I think the problem here is these have a margin when they should have a padding. So let's do. So you see what? Okay, so what's going to happen here? I'll actually show you why this is some bullshit right here. So we're just going to do a left 0, right? And I'm just going to leave that. So when we do width 100%, it's only going to be that. You see that? This is however wide it is. Well, that's how wide my pseudo element's going to be. But as you see, I need this to be this wide. So it needs to be 106 wide. So in my LIs, right here, we're going to remove our margin. That's going to bring them close together. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to do width of 109. Well, that's no good. I just got to do a padding. All right, padding. I got to push because this width, all the widths are not going to be the same. What is going to be the same is the padding. So there's that. There's the edge of that. So padding of 33. So 0 top and bottom, 33 left and right. And do that. They all push the way they're supposed to push. Right? And now my A's need to be the same width. So I think those are going to be my hover links. So hover length, display block, 100%. There's another 100%. And we have to text align center. You see they're not in the center? Now they are. Okay, so that's how wide they all need to be. Actually, no. That padding. I think I gotta add the padding to the A tag. So we're gonna take this. All right, now they're gonna go back to scrunchies with auto. Why are you the way you are? Oh, that's because I gave it an explicit width. There we go. Okay, so now our padding, since these are 14 pixels wide, we have to divide by 14. So that's going to push them all away. Why is that not working? It's kind of headache dealing with my bullshit from years ago. Okay. So the LI is here. Oh, the LI is hover link. I want the A. So we're going to take this off. I think I have to put it here. A and nav header. This is the nav header, so we're going to put this here. There we go. So now we have our A's with our padding, so that we have our pseudo element. See now we have the space. So now we take this and make this, instead of height of 40, we're going to make like 2 divided by 14, which is the font size of the, and there we go. And so we have that there. And now we just have to align it to the bottom. Oh, how tall are you, by the way? 4. You're going to be 4 pixels tall. And we just have to align it. So it looks like they're not centered. So let's go back to our on top, wherever that may live. There There it is, margin top, 1024. Let's push it down a little more. Try to look a little more centered. Okay, and now we're going to do this before. Alright, let's just hurry up and get this damn thing on with. Okay, so here's this bottom. We're going to take you down until you reach the bottom here. So let's try 35. Let's go one more, 36. And 37. There, that should be the bottom. There we go. So now you see it there. Okay, so that's set. Let's just make sure we're not screwing anything up here. And we're definitely screwing some things up here. Stupid. Okay, because we don't have our padding bottom. We don't have our padding bottom. That's right, because I removed it when I did hoverlink A. So I just want to do padding left, 33 divided by 14m. Padding right, 33 divided by 14m. I don't want to reset the top and bottom. Okay, when I do that, looks like I gotta adjust my on top again, because now it's a little too low. That looks about centered. Now, now our before, see this? Now that's too low. So this before right here, so now let's do 30. 25. 20. Alright, we're getting there. 17. Looks like it's right on the edge there. 16? I think 15. Nope, it is 16. Okay. Good. And now we got a problem here. I think it's the padding. So when we see, we added padding left and right on these two. So now I have to target these guys. This BS here. Okay, so I need drop 3. Find drop 3. Okay, so this has our padding top, our padding bottom, padding left 0, padding right 0. And now these should be happy days. Wonderful, wonderful. Except I do think I want to bring this down. So like when we hover over this, I want it to be flush. So how are you being positioned? I wonder if I just set a Z index on it. Do you have a position? Okay, well that's not going to do anything. Refresh. Did you see what I want to do? I want to make a hover. And I want to put this flush with the bottom. So let's examine this. So we have a little overlap. if I increase the padding, where's that padding coming from? Padding top 1. So drop, okay, so root, so we got drop li. So let's do, it's drop 1. So let's go dot drop 1 is where it's pulling it from. Padding top. So drop li, ul, padding top. Let's make this 55. Does that help? I don't think it does. It does have a top value, 29. Let's try 34. And that's not working. Oh, I got a before here. Drop 1 before. Okay, so let's try this. Drop 1 before. So we're going to make the before come down. I think they're 18. I think they're 16 wide. Yeah, their font size is 16. If I just change the top of the before, which doesn't freaking work. God bless it. Why is this? Why am I embarrassing myself like this? Hey, at least we're all learning troubleshooting, right? Okay, so that's on a scroll. So this is side nav regular. Body.scroll. Okay, so let's find our scroll. Top. 20. Okay, we're getting somewhere now. Let's try 22. Let's just do 25. Uh, 24. There we go. I think that's it. I think that's our money shot. There we go. Nice and flush. All right, so I just adjusted. I like to make my backgrounds as pseudo elements just so I can do that. I can adjust where I want it to be. Okay, so I think we're good. We're good. We're done. Thank God. Okay, so that's it for the navigation. Now let's focus on the landing here. So why are you so small? There we go. Okay, so I'm gonna focus on this now. When we look at this, let's see, we got, okay, music for everyone. Let's just get this. And we're gonna get that. And there's more. And yeah, this is this is the HTML video, but I wanted to get my my navigation done first, just to get that out of the way. So now we're gonna do our HTML. And now that the navigation's done, we have everything looking the way it's supposed to look. Just one less thing to worry about. So when I look at this, this black bar right here, I'm just going to make that a pseudo element. So we're not going to worry about that right now. We have our music for everybody, contact. This is going to be an image. So That's our landing M. Cool. We're there, and we're going to keep it centered for now. Now we're going to go into this section. So what I'm going to do, when I look at this, I see two blocks. I see a left block and a right block. So we're going to drop this down here. I'm just going to borrow this code. This is going to be about. And we're going to take all this, get rid of you. It's going to be about. And I want a container because I'm going to flex them against each other. And so I got a left section, and then I got a right section. So this is how I'm going to structure this. Okay. In here, I'm going to have 3 picture elements. I'm going to borrow this 1, 2, and 3. Oops, 3. These are going to be about 1, paste, paste. That's 2, paste, paste. And then this is 3. Right. So now what I'm going to do, so this is going to be 1, and you are 625 by 413. So 625 by 413. We get your heights and widths. This is going to be 2. With our border, you're going to be 512. Added a border, right? And 308. And then you are 467. And 326. We got out 326. We always got to have our heights and widths. So these are purely decorative. So I just got I'm hiding them from screen readers. Decoding async. This goes on every single image in your website. It helps them load faster. And then they all have to have their heights and widths. And since this is below the fold, we can loading equals lazy. We can lazy load them. This is how we lazy load in the browser. We don't need any complicated libraries anymore or anything else, or JavaScript. We just do loading equals lazy. And this will not load until right before you're about to scroll over it. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to create, so left section is going to be as high and wide as I need it. So it's going to be there, and then it's going to be there. Now the wife is calling. Just a second. Okay, I'm back. Sorry. So we got our height here, and we know it's going to stop here, and it's going to stop there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make the container this wide and this tall, and then I'm going to position. Let's see if I can drop it. I'm going to position, absolutely position the picture elements in here. So this will be, what is this? 151 to the left, top 0. This will be left 0, top 178, and you know this will be bottom and right 0. And that's how I'm going to do that. It's going to be really easy. I'm actually going to leave that there for now. Now our right section. We got our H2. And we got our piece. So I like to do all of my paragraphs in their own paragraph tab or tag. Boop. And there you go. So there's that. And now, so we have these guys, right? So the easiest way to make these is to have them in their own little box. So let's just say logo box, and we're gonna have our A on solid, That's going to say our history. And then we're just going to have our little images here. So I'm just going to grab this image tag. This is going to be straight up image tag. They're so small, there's no reason to have mobile or desktop versions because they're just going to be the same size. So this is going to be /logo1. And you are 54 by 55. What is this? Music teachers. National Association of Music Teachers. Cool. And then we're just going to copy paste this twice. It's going to be logo 2 and logo 3. And you are Pennsylvania Music Teachers Association. Pennsylvania Music Teachers Association. And you are, so I saved this image, so this is going to be 67 by 67, even though it doesn't look it. That's just the way it's saved. I'm not dealing with it. And then this is going to be Jacob's Music. And you are a 94 by 27. And that's that. All right, so that's that section. That's done. Now we go to upcoming events. Let's see. So all of my H2s are all going to be the same. So I'm going to give them a class. It's going to be content H2. Just so I only have to style them once. Excuse me. I'm recovering from it's like a head cold. I'm still a little congested. Talking's a little difficult. So now we're going to do another section. So I use section tags, right? We're just going to reuse this. This is going to be events. And these section tags, this is, again, semantic HTML. Every section of a website, break them up into their own divs, their own section divs. But you can only use a section div if you have a heading. So like an H2 or an H3, H4, H5, as long as they have headings, you can use a section tag. If they're not, then you don't use it. So if I just had gallery, if I just had this with images but no H2 or anything, then that will be in a div. You don't use a section for that. So you notice all of my sites, they all have, they're all wrapped in section tags. And then I also have my little comment blocks here. It's just easier to see where I'm at and what the content is. Like even over here, I can kind of see these breaks, and it helps break up the HTML into more meaningful sections. So, like in here, I'm just gonna have a container. It's gonna contain everything, and I got my content H2, H2.content H2, and that's gonna be upcoming events. And what's going to happen is this is going to be its own container. So this is going to be dot events. And let's just do events container, be a little more descriptive. And the event. And actually, we're going to make each one a... do I want it to do the modal, or do I want it to go to the events page? I think it's going to be a modal. So... So it's not going to be a link. We can make it a div and just add some event listeners to it. But it's doing something, so does that mean it's a button? Just a second, I gotta take a little break here for a second. Hold on. All right, sorry about that. I had to clear my throat and nose. Still, recovering, and I'm not about to put that nonsense on my videos. No one wants to hear that. So I think I'm gonna make these a button because they're doing something. So links, A tags, go to different places on your website, while buttons do things. So I'll do button dot event, the button, and inside our button, Let's have a span that is the date. We're just going to copy this. And then we have a H3. So we have an H2. So the next level down is H3. And this looks like a heading, right? So, and then we got our keys. So I'm just going to leave that, and I am going to copy and paste this 4 times. And then that's where I add the content. It's just easier copy and pasting a bunch of blank ones than having to delete things. Just getting through the boring stuff right now. And, oh, damn it. Actually, well, screw it. You're going to go here. Okay, and that's done. So the reason I made this a span is because this is not quite a heading and it's not a paragraph. So if it's not a heading and it's not a paragraph, it's a span. That's it. That's all you need to know. And yeah, I could add this as a pseudo, but I like to lazy load things. So I'm just going to make it an image, and it's an SVG image, so I don't need to have mobile or desktop versions. And it's on the edge here, so I'm not going to put it in the container because the container is going to stop right here, right? I want it on the edge, so I'm going to put it inside the CTA. So I'm going to put it down here. And I'm going to export you as an SVG, because that's what you are. There it is. Oops. Save as violin. Okay, and we're just going to change this to violin. And your width is 1008 by 1008. Loading lazy. This is just a violin graphic. It's hidden because it has no value, no semantic or contextual values. It's just kind of decorative, so we're going to hide it. And then inside our container, outside of this container, we're going to have the button solid. So this is our standard. This class of button solid will pretty much make it look like this. This is just what all buttons look like in my little framework, or I guess it's my built-in CSS that I already have in my websites. So this is going to be view all events. And that's why I start with a starter template. Like, there's no reason for you to start, from scratch every time. Why? Just build a base starter template like the one that I have linked, and add to it from there. You already have all your button classes and everything configured and built for you. You just gotta. It turns into your own framework without all the BS. So, got that. And now it's a gallery. So when I'm looking at this, I see a gallery here, and I see these two guys side by side. So I see, this is going to be in a div together, and this is going to be one container of all the images, and then it's going to be inside of a big container. So let's take this. So we're going to have a container. This is going to be gallery. events. I knew I forgot that. Okay. So this is gallery. All right. Now inside the container of the gallery, we are going to have our content. Oops. Top. It's going to be the top section, and it's going to be in H2. It's our content H2 gallery, and we're just going to copy this and put our text there. That's that. That's the top, and inside is the image container. And this is where we're going to have our dot left section. And we're going to have our right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab I'm just going to borrow you. We have one. I'm just going to, let's see, this is, what do you call it? Excuse me. Grid 1A. Okay, that's it. That's how I name it. Grid 1A. And you are 380, 271. This looks like formerly trust young people outside. So that's one. Alright, we don't need to hide it because that's what this is for. They are here to add context, so we're not going to hide it. We're going to lazy load it, decoding async, get our alt tag, our heights and widths, and we're good to go. So now let's do this again. So this is going to be 2. So this is going to be this one. They have the same height and width. And this is going to be dinner, right? And that's their dinner table. And then this one is 785. Let's see, 780 and 582. This is going to be 3. Oh no, I'm stupid. These all stay 1. It's the grid 1. I'm just going to stop being stupid. Okay, grid 1A, A, and then it's B, 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 and then C is the third one. There we go. So those are those. And then we copy and paste this, and we just make our right section. Right? And now we change these to grid 2. Grid 2. Grid 2. Grid 2. That's how that's just how I name them. You can name them however you want. Grid 3. Grid 3. This is the only way that just made sense to me. So grid 1 is actually this height and width. And then grid 3 is actually this height and width. And let's see, so 1 is going to be recital, looks like. Number 2 is formal evening. Number 3 is, okay, it's going to be the dinner again, looks like. Probably get another one in there, but for now. And that's done. Now these side by sides. Let's grab our code here. This is going to be member. Member. And then we're going to take this. So we don't need a container. I got a text from a client, so I'm going to respond to this really quick. Okay, I'm back. So what we're really going to do, we don't have a container, and this is just going to be done with Flex, honestly. So we just have our .left section. You notice I use the same names for everything. It's just this ID is going to be before all of my selectors. So everything is scoped to this ID. So I can have the same classes, the same naming conventions, because the ID comes before it. So that makes it, okay, only the left section with this ID number. And that helps me kind of, know where I'm at. If I use the same classes and stuff, it helps me understand my grouping. And so I just have my own little, like there's BAM and different CSS naming conventions. I prefer to just kind of do my own thing. I don't like BAM has you doing like double underscore, and I think that's so tedious to have to make a double underscore. I just do that. I mean, why double underscore? So now we're gonna have, let's see, what is this? Is this 55? That's 55. Okay, so that's going to be our h2 dot content h2. I'm going to copy that, and it looks like we got a UL. So it's going to start off with a P right here, and then we get a UL LI. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, and we're just going to take these, pop it in there, pop it in there, and pop it in there, and pop it in there, and pop it in there. So I'm going to make these like these dashes. They're just going to be pseudo elements, and it's just the easiest way to make them. So it doesn't muddy up this money, because if I had to put them in here, that's just one extra thing. I got to put this LI, and I don't want to do it. It just looks cleaner this way. So we got our ULs, and then down here, I can get away with making them just, yeah. I don't need to put a container around them, because this UL is going to be width 100%. So it's going to be a display block. It's going to push these guys down. If I make them inline block, that means they'll be able to sit next to each other. Because when you do display block, it pushes everybody off. It contains the entire line. So like, if this was the container, like this wide, it will fill the container. Nothing else can sit next to it. That's what display block is. It blocks everything away from it. Inline block is where they can sit in line next to each other. So that's what I'm going to do here in the left section. We're going to have a.button solid, and that's going to be learn how to join. And then we're going to have another one, a.button transparent. I have two different classes for this, and that's going to be register students. And then our right section, it's actually going to be, it's just going to be a div with an image inside of it as the background. So, I mean, I don't even need a div. I can just do a picture element. So I'm going to grab you. And picture, we're just going to have class equals right section. So we'll make this picture element, this 50% wide, and because we're using Flexbox, we have to tell it how tall we want things to be. So we'll tell them to be, 775 tall, and then the image inside of it will be, absolutely positioned in object fit cover. So this is going to be member member. I think that's what it's called. And playing piano. And then we're going to go to our images. Member. We're going to take this. Oh, it looks like we got a little. Let's get rid of that white. There we go. Yes. All right, get rid of that. Now we're going to resize. Well, let's just say let's say 600. And that's our M. There we go. Some noise going on. I don't know what they're doing. All right. So now we're onto this section. And this should be, again, another pretty easy one. So let's take our CTA. This is going to be board. And we're going to have a container. So we're going to flexbox these to go, justify content, space between. It's pretty common in my work. I just like to use containers and space between, so that no matter how big some of these are, they are where they're supposed to be. And inside this container, we're going to have our .left section. Starting to see a theme here. Dot content h2, and then that's going to be meter directors. And I want to control this break. So I'm gonna add a break. This is an HTML thing. It just makes it jump to the next line. You can either do that, or you can wrap one of these in a span, and then you just target the H2 span to be display block, so it jumps to the next line. So that's two ways to break up text so that you can control how they display. And then we got our 8-button solid. Boom. And whatever you say. Copy, paste. Oops. More about our board. Okay, and then our dot right section. We're gonna have a P. I've been designed to put this here, like view all members, but I felt like that wasn't, right here. That's not very call to actiony. So I overrode it, and I just put a button over here because this also felt a little light, a little empty over here. So I put that there. So we're gonna ignore this, and now we have we're gonna make another container here to flex these guys. So it's gonna be inside the right section underneath the P. We're gonna have board container, and do I want to make them? Yeah, I'm gonna get fancy. I'm gonna make these all links, and then when we go to the board page where we talk about them, I'm sure they'll have their own bio. It'll be it'll link to the page and then to the anchor point, which is going to be it will be an ID, so that it will just scroll down to them. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to be a little fancy. I want to be a fancy bitch. So we're going to have these are already basically mobile sized. Unless I want to like so on mobile, how do I want this to look? Do I want it to be? I can make this 2x2, and then these would be like 200 wide. About yeah. So I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna take that. I'm gonna do a picture. I'm not gonna source because I don't think I need a mobile and desktop version. And this is gonna be /Nick. So they're 278 by 278. Nicholas. Okay, so we got the image there. Now underneath, we got a let's do an H3. That's the name, and then we're gonna have a span. Man, I can't get it out of there. Dot title. All right, so now we got 6 of these guys. So we're in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And honestly, let's just screw it. It doesn't need to be exact. So I'm just gonna copy him all the times. There's gonna be 6 Nicholases. Imagine all the work you can get done. Okay, so it's gonna be 6, and then when I'm done with this, I'll just go in and change all the images and text because we don't need to deal with that. So yeah, this will replace our call to section, our call to action section. So we're here, said I get started. Just have that. Maybe we can remove this. Let's see what that looks like. So this is what our everything looks like right now without any HTML. Hideous, right? Not him. I'm not. I didn't say hideous as I was going over him. It's just overall hideous. Nothing against you, Nick. Oh, I think I killed the CTA when I nuked this. So so we don't need our animations, right? That's our CTA. And that's our landing. So I'm just going to delete all this right before we get to the CTA. Right there. There we go. There's our CTA. It's going to have a probably black background. And we're going to add the image as the background. So yeah, that looks better. I'm gonna do this. So that's what we're doing. We're ignoring this section because I'm just gonna make this the contact page because I want to make a call to action to go to the contact page because we want page interactivity. So that is it for that. Now let's just add our footer here. So it looks like we just got our links again. And our thing here at the bottom. So let's go to our footer. Let's just get rid of this. We're gonna make a different one. And we don't need a container because these are all on one line. So we get our A, and we're going to have our image. And I'm not going to serve it in a picture tag. It doesn't need to be. This will be an SVG, so I don't need a mobile version. You are going to be 232 by 126. And you're going to be logo. And then ARIA label. Click to go to page. And why am I adding this? Because this is a link, right? Links have to go places and be descriptive. An image is not descriptive. The screen reader is going to go over this and it's like, all right, well, what the hell is this? What does this mean? It doesn't mean anything to me. So we use the ARIA label. So we tell the screen reader, ignore this image. This has nothing to do with it, right? But when you hover over this A tag, this link that has the image, this is what you tell the person using the screen reader. Click to go to home page. So they know, okay, oh, this button clicks to go to the home page. Cool. We're going to do a little /index.html. All right, that's web accessibility 101. If you do not have any text or they're not descriptive, like learn more or read more, like that's not good enough. Add an ARIA label, and an ARIA label will override whatever it is that you have written in it. So we got that. And I'm going to use a list for this. So we're just going to do a UL, LI, A, and then we're just copy paste this. What's 7? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right, 6. And then so we got home, about, events, notifications, teachers only, and contact. There, just another extra, like, well, you're at the bottom now. And here you go. So we got those done. Let's just get these written out. Index.html / what was that page that I wanted it to be? We have, what do we have? about us. And I gotta fix this, obviously. I'll just say that for later. Okay, so it's gonna be about us. I'll just make that about. Okay. So, about .html. This will be slash events.html slash certifications slash teachers only and slash content.html. Cool. So now we're going to do this, this credit. And here we're going to do credit. Span dot ID credit. Span dot credit info. Signed and hand coded a tag oak harbor. And we're going to grab that. Throw you in there. We're going to do a little target equals blank. So it opens up in a new page. We do rel equals no opener so that Google doesn't freak out. Because Google will do that, like, oh, this is not trusted. We don't know this, blah blah blah, and you'll get pinged on your audit, on your Lighthouse or your page speed. So by adding rel no opener, you basically tell it to shut up. So we got that, and that span. So we got these two guys. These are going to be links. I think we get away with this being all flexbox. So that's the span there, a there, image tag inside, and they're going to be SVGs. Do I have a Facebook? I think I have a Facebook and YouTube SVG. Facebook. Okay, we got a Facebook white. We don't have a YouTube. Come here. There we go. Export SVG. Save as YouTube. Inside this link, we're going to image tag. Be Facebook white. You're going to be 9 by 16. Alright, and this is Facebook. And then since it doesn't have any text on it, our label to visit Facebook. Alright, we're going to do this again. That's going to be YouTube. And you are 16 by 12. YouTube. Cool, and that's it. We're done. Okay, so that's our HTML. What we're going to do in the next video is we're going to go over the CSS. And we're going to do it one section at a time. So we're going to start here at the landing, and we're going to do from mobile to desktop on the landing. Then we're going to do mobile to desktop for this, mobile to desktop for this, and so on until we finish the damn page. And then we're going to move on. Each page here is going to be it's going to be its own video. One video per page. Now, otherwise, if I have HTML and CSS for each page, it just gets a little messy in the playlist there. So, and these are not going to take too much time either. So, so I'll see you guys in the CSS video where we will be starting mobile first and learning proper responsive techniques and how to position all these guys. So that'll be the fun part. So, thanks for watching this, and I'll see you in the next one.